Right, we are live from the Nation Center with all the day's stories making your headlines both nationally and internationally. But first, let's take a look at the highlights.
Tonight, suspected drug baron Ali Punjani's wife and 2 others arrested.
It is said is involved directly or indirectly.
We unpack this man Punjani.
Also tonight, a go-down full of foodstuffs.
We realized they have a number of expired goods.
Evidence of repackaging the bad snacks found, but Kiambu government gives proprietor 3 days to put house in order.
Plus, no salaries, no work. Treasury offers solution, but it's not budging.
We propose that 50% of 310 can be used and the counties can access the funding.
And they were in love. She paid his life insurance premiums. She tried to kill him 3 times for the compensation. How this story unraveled in the courts.
NTV Tonight with Ken Mijungu and Zainab Ismail.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Flora Atieno.
And of course, it's Tuesday, so Sidebar is up straight after our live broadcast. And tonight we are having former members of parliament helping us dissect the weighty matters that are affecting the nation at this particular time, especially the proposals on the referendum. And all those questions are going to be answered. So let's begin our broadcast tonight. We are keeping up with the government's onslaught of the drug trade at the coast, and 3 foreigners were arrested at the home of suspected drug baron Ali Punjani. That's in Nyali in Mombasa County.
Well, police also found rolls of bang and about 60,000 shillings in cash stashed in one of the rooms. Punjani's family claims he is away in India for medical treatment. Our Coastal Region reporter Kevin Mutai is still on this story.
At around 9 o'clock, detectives from the Anti-Narcotics Unit and other security officials descended on Ali Punjani's residence in Nyali, Mombasa County. They searched his vehicles for any evidence that might link the businessman to his alleged involvement in the narcotics trade. Inside his home, police found rolls of bang and about 60,000 shillings cash. They took away his title deeds, bank statements and checks, which they say will be taken for further analysis. The businessman is said to be away in India receiving treatment of a heart-related condition.
Tumeanzisha upelelezi ya kwamba yeye moja kwa moja anahusika au ana vibaraka vyake ambazo anatumia. Na mwanzo tumekuja hapa na hii ni safari ambaye kutoka hapa tutaelekea kukagua nyumba zingine zote ambazo zina uhusiano na mshukiwa.
3 foreigners, 2 Nepalese nationals and a 28-year-old male of Indian origin were later arrested. A 24-year-old woman identified as Kaki Sushmi is said to be Punjani's 3rd wife, while the other 2 suspects are said to be his close relatives. Police also say they are looking for 2 other foreigners who were in the house yesterday, but left upon receiving information that police were on their way to inspect the premises. The 2 are said to have driven off in Punjani's car, which was traced to Kwale on its way to Tanzania.
As far as they are aware, they have not found any narcotic drugs in Mr. Punjan's house.
We are the law enforcement agents. And the reason we are here is it is said is involved directly or indirectly. And that's why we are here.
Police are also looking for 2 of his servants whom they accused of providing false information to the authorities. The 2 are said to have lied to the police that the house had no other occupant when they first raided the premises on Monday.
After conducting a raid that almost took them 6 hours, police officers still believe that they have crucial information that will either prove if Ali Punjani is linked to drug trafficking or not. Kevin Mutai, NTV, Mombasa.
And we're still in Mombasa, and the tycoon currently wanted by the Kenya police in connection to drug trafficking who had strong connections within the political and security circles.
Well, NTV's Vincent Oduor has the portrait of a man whose links to the drug trade were first uncovered by U.S. Embassy dossier tabled in Parliament about 10 years ago.
The palatial home that sits on a 3-acre piece of land in Mombasa's Nyali suburb, a garden overlooking the beach and top-of-the-range vehicles. This just a snippet of the extravagant lifestyle Ali Punjani led. Punjani's links to the drug trade first surfaced 10 years ago in a U.S. Embassy dossier tabled in Parliament by then Interior Cabinet Secretary, the late George Saitoti. The dossier implicated a number of members of Parliament.
There's also another businessman who his name is a fellow called Mr. Ali Punjani.
Punjani wielded immense influence within the national security apparatus. He was also well connected politically.
Thank you very much indeed. Asante sana. Thank you. Itakwenda mahali makubwa sana.
During former President Mwai Kibaki's presidency, Punjani frequently donated millions of shillings in fundraising events. This seemed to be one of the ways he earned a place in the government's good books. Punjani is reported to have been assigned a large number of armed police officers to guard him, his homes and his businesses. But his influence seems to have waned.
Thank you.
Punjani is said to be a close associate of the Akasha family. Currently, the two Akasha brothers, Bakhtash and Ibrahim, are awaiting sentencing in the USA after they were convicted of drug trafficking. Another suspected drug lord, Vijagiri Goswami, who has been charged alongside the two, informed the court in New York court that Punjani operates a drug business in Mombasa that rivals that of the Akashas. In 2017, he was charged with fighting in public with the Akasha brothers and was released on a 50,000 shillings bond. Vincent Oduor, NTV.
Well, to the story of yet another wanted billionaire, and Humphrey Kariuki has dismissed the 41.5 billion shillings tax evasion allegations against him, even as he stepped down as the chairman of Janus Continental Group.
And this is according to the organization's board, which he led, and runs a firm in real estate, energy and hospitality, including the hub that's in the Current Mall, and energy firm Dalbit Petroleum Limited.
Omian Mendo has the latest on the apparently slippery billionaire and trails his movements the past few days.
On Friday, the court allowed the police to seize, restrain, preserve and freeze properties associated with billionaire Humphrey Kariuki. This is in relation to allegations of 41.5 billion shillings tax evasion against Kariuki and 8 other employees of Africa Spirits and WOW Beverages. 31 companies were listed and over 80 vehicles linked to the billionaire. Now, Janus Continental Group, JCG, the umbrella group managing about 6 companies linked to Kariuki, where he is the largest shareholder, says that the billionaire had stepped down as board chairman. A letter to external stakeholders signed by Helen Akello, the Chief Human Resources Officer at JCG, says that, and I quote, Humphrey Kariuki recently made the decision to voluntarily stand down as chair of the board of Janus Continental Group and its associate businesses, end of quote. The letter further says that, and I quote, Kariuki explained that this will allow him to focus his efforts on challenging the baseless claims in court, end of quote. The firms under Janus Continental Group are the hub in Karen, Nairobi, Dalbit Petroleum, an oil distribution company working in East and Southern Africa, and Great Lakes Africa Energy, a UK-based company that is developing and operating power projects in Southern Africa. Amid the tax evasion claims, Dalbit Petroleum won the leading oil importer taxpayer award at the Kenya Revenue Authority's 2018 Distinguished Taxpayers Awards ceremony. On Saturday, DCI detectives raided the premises in Nanyuki, but only 2 movable assets were found in his personal hangar. Kariuki has been in 5 countries over the past few days. From Nairobi, his T-7 DNK aircraft was in Johannesburg, South Africa, after which it transited to Maputo, Mozambique, then to Dubai. Next stop was Trabzon in Turkey, then finally to the United Kingdom.
Humphrey Kariuki possesses dual citizenship, that of Kenya and Cyprus. It is unclear whether he will choose to denounce the Kenyan citizenship so that he does not have to face the criminal charges here. As of now, DCI Director George Kinoti has already issued an international arrest warrant against the billionaire. Mel Miendo, NTV.
You know, that story by Mel raises a lot of fundamental questions. Most important is the fact that in 2018, you know, he's being followed for an alleged 41 billion shillings tax evasion. But one of the questions that Mel is actually raising in that story is in 2018, he won an award from the Kenya Revenue Authority. So you ask yourself,
very interesting.
What happened?
It's certainly a story we are following up.
Yeah, that's a story we're definitely following, and the fact that he's still at large.
All right.
Right. This is a story that you have to pay really keen attention because most people are having their dinner right now. So from preservatives in your meat, mercury in your sugar, and aflatoxin in your peanut butter, now you run the risk of packing your child's poisonous snacks for their break time.
Well, days after 5,000 bags of sugar suspected to contain mercury went missing from a go-down in Mombasa, a raid on another go-down in Kikuyu discovered expired foodstuffs.
And as NTV's Oli Barrows now reports, the unscrupulous businessmen may have taken the spirit of waste not, want not too far.
We've heard time and again, you are what you eat. But perhaps it should change to be careful what you eat, as more foods that are harmful to your health find their way into the market. It may be hard to swallow. Proven to be the case when Kiambu County health officers uncovered expired foodstuffs at a go-down in Kikuyu. Though the proprietor of the go-down claimed that this was a mix-up, the repackaging material found on site told a different story.
We advised accordingly the owner that they need to be separated. They need to be restricted in a corner that they are not used for human consumption. And we gave him the 3 days notice to comply with the Public Health Act. And if not so, then legal action will be initiated against him immediately.
It is not clear why the authorities did not immediately seize the goods for destruction and why the proprietor of the business, who had evidently contravened the Public Health Act, was not immediately taken into custody.
The disposal is supposed to be an agreement between a registered company by NEMA, which should be disposing for them, and they need to have documentation displayed such that we are assured that it is done and it is done the right way.
After an NTV expose on the use of preservatives on red meat caught health officials' pants down a month ago, Health Cabinet Secretary Cecily Kariuki fired a warning at retailers that play roulette with the lives of their customers.
I want to take this opportunity again to speak to you, the retailer. I want to speak to you and remind you that indeed the law of the land is going to take its course, and we are coming after you. Right now, we are coming after you.
As things stand, one can only hope that when they buy a pack of biscuits, a caffeinated beverage, an energy drink to get through the day, or popcorn to pack in their child's lunchbox, that they're not poisoning them or themselves. Olive Barrows, NTV.
All right, well, listen to this. Now, tonight, detectives are investigating what might have been a well-orchestrated plan by a female lover and a male accomplice to murder a middle-aged man in order to claim millions of shillings in personal accident insurance cover.
And the female suspect, who the victim claims was his secret lover, will remain in police custody for 2 more weeks, while her co-accused has been released on a cash bail. Seth Olale followed the proceedings at the Milimani Law Court.
It is alleged that Peter Mwanyiki Wanjiku and Emma Wangari Wangoi forged a national identification card number 249610444 bearing the name of the complainant, Evans Karanja Mwangi, in order to confer a personal accident insurance cover worth millions of shillings. Mwaniki Wanjiku is accused of submitting the forged national identity card to a staff at ICEA Lyon on 13th June 2018 in order to benefit from an insurance cover. Mwaniki also submitted the forged identity card at APA Insurance, Westlands, on 14th June 2018 to a company employee in order to benefit from another cover. Mwaniki would submit the same offense on 18th June 2018 at Britam Insurance, Thika branch. The complainant, Karanja Mwangi, has told detectives attached to the Insurance Fraud Investigating Unit at DCI that he had a secret love affair with the second accused person, Emma Wangari Wangoi. Karanja further told investigators that he has never registered or paid premiums at any of the mentioned insurance firms and that he survived 3 attempts on his life. Chief Magistrate Martha Mutuku released Mwaniki on a 200,000 cash bail while Wangari remains in police custody until 27th of this month when the case will resume. Other than the current charges against the accused persons, police are also following leads that could implicate the accused persons into alleged land grab cases in Ruiru and Thika. Seth Olale, NTV, Milimani Law Courts.
3 attempts on his life. Some would say it is the evolution of fraud. Now, workers from counties who are yet to receive their July salaries today downed their tools in protest. The workers joined pay parades while others staged go-slows to force the county governments to pay them. The affected counties blamed the delays on the row over the division of revenue. And Ms. Brenda Wanga reports.
The lapse of the 7 days notice given to counties to remit July salaries for a number of counties has seen the affected employees down their tools in protest. In Meru, the health workers were leading the pay parade that has been replicated in other parts of the country.
Some have not been able even to bathe this morning because they can't afford to buy a soap. Yes. There are some who never even came to job today because they doesn't have the fare to pay to come to work.
In Kisumu, the workers from different sectors of the county's workforce also joined in the pay parade. They too, like their Meru counterparts, are still staring at empty bank accounts after their county government failed to pay their salaries.
Salaries is a right. Yes. It is not a favor.
A total of 23 counties had not paid their workers by Friday last week. All but 6 have either since paid or committed to pay by Friday this week. Other counties that were expected to join in the industrial action today were convinced by their respective counties to hold on for a little bit longer.
Wanaelewa zile shida tuko nazo na tumewaelezea kwamba wakati tunapofaulu kupata pesa tutashughulikia maslahi yao.
I want to call on all nurses to be patient. Let's be patient. Our county are going to pay us, as they have said, by Friday.
The county government of Baringo is working ensuring that payment is made to the accounts of the staff by Wednesday.
Those working in Nakuru County were made a sweetheart deal to work until Friday when their July and August salaries will be paid as a balm for the pain and suffering they have endured in the last 2 weeks. However, the County Government Workers Union says 6 counties like Kipia, Kitui, West Pokot, Homa Bay, Kilifi and Taita Taveta have turned a deaf ear to the workers' plight.
Our combat with them, our demand will be harder.
By tomorrow, we expect all public servants serving under county government to be paid their salaries.
The Workers' Union said the offending counties have no excuse not to pay. The Workers' Union maintains it will not relent in its quest to have the members' rights respected. Brenda Wanga, NTV.
Well, let's maintain with the consequences of this standoff. The Treasury Acting Cabinet Secretary, Ukur Yatani, says he cannot authorize the release of any funds to the counties without advice from the Attorney General, even as his ministry met with the Council of Governors, the Senate and the Controller of the Budget to forestall a shutdown. There is, however, no consensus on how much the base figure should be. NTV's Kennedy Muredi has the details.
A meeting at the Senate chambers bringing together the Senate, National Treasury, Council of Governors, of Budget and the Attorney General was the first in a series of meetings planned to ensure counties can at least access a percentage of revenue for daily operations as the stalemate over the division of revenue bill drags on in Parliament. The Treasury came with an offer.
We propose that 50% of 310 can be used and the counties can access the funding from the consolidated fund.
The better option would be to use the division of revenue for the previous year. In this particular case, Waziri, and congratulations on your appointment, we have confirmed that you have actually sent to counties 314 billion and not 310.
50%. Why don't we give them 70%?
The reason as to why we are arguing with 310 is because the 316 or 320 something has not been agreed upon.
However, the issue of how much will be the base cost even more divisions, as the National Treasury insisted on 310 billion shillings, a climb down from the 314 billion shillings the government gave in the 2018-2019 financial year.
Base figures can come to haunt you later. That 310, if we agree it will come to haunt us later. In fact, I'm wondering why Waziri is pegged on the 310.
Dora last year and Kara last year was a 314. There was an attempt to reduce that figure by 9 billion by National Treasury. And they attempted to bring a revised Dora and Kara to Parliament, and they chickened out.
The lawyers who represented the Office of the Attorney General could not make any decision on their own, thus were asked to go consult the AG. The AG was given until Wednesday evening to give his views, as Senate wants monies dispersed to counties immediately.
If for whatever reason the Attorney General does not agree with the proposals that will have come out of what has been discussed today, then counties will be left with nothing else other than to stare at a more difficult time, as both houses of parliament are on recess and none of them actually wants to budge on the way forward. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV at Parliament Buildings.
And that report by Kennedy Mureithi will be part of your discussion on
Sidebar tonight, yes.
All right,
indeed.
very interesting. Yeah. Well, in its better days, the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, was the place of cool waters. Today, a river that was once the source of life for many residents in Nairobi and even beyond has turned into the river of death, a greasy, clammy and smelly sludge that is used downstream by residents of 5 counties.
And this is the reason why the nation spent the last 2 months with a team of scientists and toxicology experts tracing Nairobi River from its source, that's in Ondiri Swamp, to the Indian Ocean in Malindi. And this Sunday, Charity Mwangi brings you the details in our special report, Toxic Flow. Here's a quick preview.
Ningefikiria huu uchafu wanatupa hapa wangeliacha. Kama haya ndo ambayo yanatoka kule yanakuja paka kwa mtu wa Sabaki.
People upstream of this river don't care. We are polluting the river.
Unless the pollution is stopped, we're just dumping poison.
Mimi nikipeleka hii sukuma huko kwa soko, siwezi kusema inatoka Athi River. Mimi nasema inatoka huko Ukambani.
Mali ya umma ni serikali itafanya. And so you dump plastic, you dump materials into the river, and they're going to kill your brother downstream.
Are you telling me it's now that there's cancer everywhere, big guys are dying of cancer, that we are realizing there's a problem? We have been incubating a problem.
And this project has been done in collaboration with our sister paper, that's the Daily Nation. And in your corner, read about several samples of water, fish, vegetables, crabs and other aquatic animals collected from 10 points along the river and tested for the presence of 12 deadly heavy metals and other chemicals.
The Daily Nation details the shocking findings in a special series, River of Death. Grab your copy tomorrow and read the story of a river that has been betrayed by the city under the sun and how it affects millions of people. All right, and that's definitely a story that we are
worth
looking
watching.
forward to.
So apart from just reading it tomorrow, we are bringing the live. This is a project that took quite some time. So we're bringing the pictures with Charity over the weekend. But first, it's your copy of the Daily Nation tomorrow.
All right, and coming up.
Brutal force. We take our first break at this point, but still ahead. She was pulled over for a traffic offense. How? She lies, and now she lies in the hospital bed.
We tell you what happened to her after this break.
The 2019 Kenya Population and Housing Census is coming. For Kenya's planning and development, we all have to be counted. People from all walks of life in any part of Kenya, it's your right to be counted. Be ready to be counted where you will be on the night of the 24th of August 2019. The 2019 Kenya Population and Housing Census, counting our people for sustainable development and devolution of services. Jitokeze uhesabike.
In 2017, Lifestyle Estates promised Lifestyle Heights in Tatu City. The dream is now a reality. Lifestyle Heights is ready for occupation from 1st September 2019. Lifestyle Heights is a modern gated community of 2, 3 and 3 bedroom with DSQ apartments with amenities rare to find elsewhere. We are inviting you to our open day on the 24th and 25th August 2019 at Lifestyle Heights, Tatu City from 8 a.m. Karibuni nyote.
Breakfast is not complete without the new Minute Maid Nutri-Defense's Nectar Plus. Complete the most important meal of the day with the goodness of great-tasting juice fortified with vitamin E and zinc to complement your family's nutritional needs. Minute Maid Nutri-Defense's Nectar Plus. Breakfast complete.
Again, we are at it together. We are absolutely everywhere and we love it. This is what makes us tick. This is what makes our heart beat. It is always on the edge. It is always football time.
Get an HD decoder, dish kit, plus 2 months of DSTV Family for only 4,999 shillings.
The Kenya Defence Forces is hosting the 12th edition of the East African Community Military Games and Cultural Events. Join us at the Moi International Sports Centre Kasarani from August 11th to August 24th. The events will bring together military teams from Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania and Uganda. Military teams from 6 EAC countries will compete in football, volleyball, netball, basketball and cross-country. Don't miss the 12th edition of the East Africa Community Military Games and Cultural Event.
One people, one destiny.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience. They have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth, causing that discomfort. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down. And the proof's in the results. It works.
We define your great moments in higher learning through our tradition, diversity, friendship, and merit. The depth and relevance of academic programs is our pride as we shape our graduates beyond the intellect. We are ready for you. St. Paul's University avails to you variety and consistency as we keep our programs technologically driven and entrepreneurially linked to inspire innovation and service. The door to excellence is open for you. Join us now for August intake. For further information, call us or interact with us online. St. Paul's University, unleashing untapped potential.
And welcome back. And sign language interpreter tonight is Flora Atieno. Let's move on. 2 police officers from the Makuyu police station have been suspended pending investigations into claims they assaulted a motorist along Nairobi-Murang'a highway.
Now, the woman identified as Pauline Wangari claims the officer who stopped her for a traffic offence dragged her out of her vehicle and kicked her. Leila Mohammed has the details.
The events that took place here more than 48 hours ago are subject to a police investigation where 2 police officers are accused of causing bodily harm in an assault to a woman who was driving along this highway on the night of Saturday with her children and her sister. From her hospital bed, Pauline relieves the horror that confined her here, details of which read like something plucked from a movie script.
But he pulled me so hard that I fell down. You see my upper part of the body, and the other part, that is legs, was still inside, trying very hard to open the belt of the car. So when one part was outside, the other one was inside. He hit me using his leg very hard.
Her sister claims she tried to unstrap her from her seat, but the officer wouldn't let her do it.
In fact, even he gave me a slap. Nikamwambia, you can't hit me. What have been done bad? If you have done anything wrong, take us to where? To police. We have interviews to go to where? To police station.
Her children, on seeing their mother writhing in pain, screamed for help. The officer is said to have taken away her car keys. The vehicle was towed to the Makuyu police station where it is still parked. Her husband says he got the call informing him of the incident at 8 p.m.
The police said that we have to wait for the OCS to come and record that statement.
Doctors at the Metropolitan Hospital in Buruburu say
during the examination we found that she actually had some tenderness in the lower chest, generalized abdominal tenderness, basically pain around the abdomen, and she was unable to move her left leg.
Has recorded a preliminary statement with the police. They are expected to report back to record a final statement. The 2 officers have been reporting to work but have not been assigned any duties. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
Well, let's now focus our attention on the corridors of justice. And the County Assembly's proceed with the debating the Punguza Mzigo bill by Third Way Alliance Party after the High Court lifted an order stopping it.
Judge John Mutivo lifted the order after the petitioner David Kariuki and the International Economic Law Center failed to appear in court.
The petitioners had obtained orders stopping county assemblies from debating and approving the bill, arguing that the signatures verified by the IEBC were not genuine.
And county assemblies can now adopt or reject that bill on that basis, after which the results are to be handed over to the speakers of the National Assembly and that of the Senate.
Well, the bill must be passed by at least 25 counties to be considered adopted at county assembly level.
And moving on now, the hearing of the murder case against Nairobi lawyer Asa Nyakundi has been moved to a later date when the judge will issue further directions.
The lawyer is accused of shooting daddy's son, Joseph Nyakundi, on March 17th near his home. Earlier charges of the manslaughter have been withdrawn, with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions filing fresh charges of murder.
Away from the corridor of justice, Anglican Archbishop Jackson Olisapit has urged political leaders to put aside their selfish political ambitions in the push for a referendum.
Well, the leader of the Anglican Church of Kenya says if there is a need to go through another constitutional review, then it has to be for a better country, not for better political opportunities.
We must ask ourselves, in all the administrative structures and leadership structures, are Kenyans going to be the winners or are they going to be the losers? And in my view, if we don't put Kenyans as the object of our discussion in this referendum, then we might find ourselves being losers, not achievers, in whatever arrangement we are going to make.
Right. The County Assembly of Kisumu has defied a court order and gone ahead to impeach the County Executive Committee member in charge of finance and economic planning, that's Nelly Achar.
Well, the House has officially written to Governor Mijungu asking him to effect the decision of the House and dismiss Achar. The legislators accuse him of incompetence, abuse of office, gross misconduct and gross violation of the Constitution.
37 of the 40 members of the County Assembly voted in support of the impeachment. This comes barely a few days after the MCAs vowed not to transact any kind of business with the embattled CEC member on behalf of the county government of Kisumu.
All right, time for another breather, but coming up. Government makes a big U-turn on maize imports.
New details of the maize coming up in the business news next.
School of Business, University of Nairobi, globally recognized and offering internationally accredited programs, invites applications for the September 2019 intake in the following postgraduate and undergraduate programs: Master in Business Administration, Master of Science in Marketing, Human Resources Management, Entrepreneurship and Innovations Management, Finance, Supply Chain Management, Operations and Technology Management, Bachelor of Commerce, Bachelor Commerce Distance Learning, Bachelor of Finance, Accounting, Operations and Supply Chain Management. Programs are offered in Mombasa and Kisumu campuses and selected programs at the Eldoret Learning Center. Apply online through application.uonbi.ac.ke and be the first to secure admission at the most prestigious university in Sub-Saharan Africa. The University of Nairobi is a world-class university committed to scholarly excellence.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because the tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate.
Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities
For maximum cavity protection.
and now available in a 12-gram sachet for fresh breath. Only 15 shillings.
Rough and tough quality textured coating gives your walls a tough and beautiful finish. Available in over 6,000 shades, it hides surface imperfections. Call us on 0709 887 000 to place your order. Crown. If you like it, crown it. Welcome to Kisiwa Technical Training Institute. Kisiwa Technical Training is an ISO-certified institution offering quality technical and entrepreneurship training relevant to the changing industrial and market demands. Apply now for our September 2019 intakes in the following: diploma and certificate courses, electrical engineering, building and construction technology, business administration, mechanical engineering, informational communication technology, communication, automotive engineering, library information sciences, human resource development, food and beverages, business studies, general agriculture and supplies management. Kisiwa Technical Training Institute. Knowledge and skills for better life.
I'm hungry.
Yes, with some extra fries. Delivery on the way.
So extra. Actually tired of hoping for
No.
So extra.
Has to be extra because extra data is always better with extra minutes. Dial *544# to subscribe and share live extra. Telkom, moving with you.
nearly 5 decades now, Daystar has been stirring passions, supporting and shaping career aspirations as it develops transformational servant leaders for Africa and beyond.
Music is not just entertainment, it's a career that should be studied. I studied in Daystar, you should too.
Book your intake now and be the next. Call us or visit www.daystar.ac.ke for more information.
And just in time for the only name in business, welcome, I am Julian Amboko, and let's start on matters pertaining maize. Now, the government has suspended plans to allow imports of maize this year, citing a steady supply of the commodity in the market and the upcoming harvest. The Strategic Food Reserve Trust Fund has now made an about-turn, terming the issue of maize importation as a creation of the media. Victor Kiprop with the details.
After months of a sharp dispute marked by bitter exchanges over the amounts of maize imports required, the Strategic Food Reserve Board SFR and the Ministry of Agriculture have taken a complete U-turn.
The government has realized there's no need to bring in maize because maize is already coming.
In June, the ministry had indicated that the government would need to import at least 10 million bags to plug a looming shortage and stabilize prices, a figure hotly contested by SFR, which accused the Ministry of Engineering a shortage in order to benefit cartels and insisting that only 2.5 million bags should be imported.
12 million bags, and we are going to start buying maize for farmers, from farmers.
If Wekesa has taken upon himself to challenge his minister, that is insubordination.
However, the two seem to have privately buried their differences and are now blaming the media for the import fiasco.
I think it was more of a creation of the media than the plan for government.
The SFR is awaiting cabinet approval to release about 1.9 million bags into the market, which it hopes will improve supply and stabilize prices before the maize from this year's harvest hit the market in the next 2 months. Victor Kiprop, NTV Business.
And on to the capital markets, the number of listed companies that are reporting losses continues to rise, dampening investor appetite at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. TPS Serena has registered 160 million shillings in losses in the first half of the year ended June 2019, attributing it to a number of factors, including a fluctuating foreign exchange rate. This saw it post an 18 million shillings loss on foreign currency loans. The performance by Serena adds on to the 18 million shillings loss reported by Limuruti for the 6 months ended June 2019. Infrastructure company TransCentury and property firm Home Africa posted 3.5 billion and 346 million shillings in losses respectively for the full year ended December 2018. And getting back to matters agriculture, tomato farmers in Kenya have a reason to smile following the launch of a new tomato variety that is resistant to bacterial wilt. The semi-nice tomato Ansel, a hybrid variety by Bayer East Africa, is also resistant to tomato mosaic virus, a disease that costs farmers millions in losses. Bacterial wilt is a soil and waterborne disease that destroys 100% of the tomatoes. The new seeds have been on the trial in a few counties since November last year before the official rollout today.
Kulima hauko unaweza kupata nyanya kwa sababu ya ugonjwa wa bacterial wilt na kupoteza karibu 100% ya nyanya, utaweza kuvuna nyanya.
For us as county government, ours is to support the farmers so that they can plant the correct breed, they can put the correct input so that their productivity can go high.
If you can have a second option, maybe canning factory, where we can can the excess crop, we can minimize the losses and also can increase the profit.
And away from agriculture, the affordable housing deficit in Africa requires upwards of $1.4 trillion or in excess of 140 trillion shillings if it is to be effectively addressed, according to Housing Financial Shelter Freak. Kenya is among the African countries where the deficit is growing. It puts the deficit at a staggering 22 million units for Nigeria, 3 million for Tanzania and the Democratic Republic of Congo, and 2 million for Kenya and South Africa. Part of the challenge in addressing the affordable housing deficit is the skewed construction of houses houses for the wealthy by developers leaving the low-income earners out in the cold. And on to matters international, Goldman Sachs has reduced the growth forecast for the U.S. economy in the fourth quarter to 1.8% from 2%, citing a bigger impact of the trade war between the U.S. and China. The escalation of the tariffs on goods is now impacting the stock markets as investors express more caution. U.S. stock markets, that is the S&P 500, NASDAQ and the Dow, each dropped by more than 1% in Monday's trading. The yields of the Treasury bonds fell sharply as investors sought to put their money in safer assets. And time to take a look at the financial report.
NTV Financial Report in association with the University of Nairobi. NTV Financial Report in association with the University of Nairobi.
Be the first to secure admission at the most prestigious university in sub-Saharan Africa. The University of Nairobi is a world-class university committed to scholarly excellence.
And that's where we close the business bulletin tonight, but still to come. Scientists believe they've found a life-saving Ebola treatment. Details up next.
Tusonge mbele na Fiber Mobile. Get a Fiber SIM card today and enjoy Tusonge mbele bundles at affordable prices.
Making my family some nutritious porridge is a painstaking process. First, I have to find all the ingredients needed, and there are many. For vitamins, proteins, and minerals, I need cassava, sorghum, millet. You no longer need to go through all that to make nutritious porridge. All you need is NutriPro.
You don't have to go through the trouble of finding, measuring, and weighing all these vital ingredients. New NutriPro porridge flour comes fortified with 13 vitamins, proteins, and minerals. This means that you have more time to focus on what's important, giving your family the healthy start they deserve. NutriPro, bringing families together. From Tropical Brand.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Nation FM. More music and less talk. Nairobi 96.3, Mombasa 101.5, Meru 93.9, Nyeri 104.9, Eldoret 102.7, and Nakuru on 97.7. Follow us on social media on Facebook at Nation FM, Instagram at Nation FM, and on Twitter at Nation FM KE. Nation FM. More music and less talk.
I'm hungry.
Yes, with some extra fries. Delivery on the way.
So extra. Aren't you tired of hoping for
No! Granddaddy man! Granddaddy
extra!
Has to be extra because extra data is always better with extra minutes. Dial *544# to subscribe and share Live Extra. Telkom, moving with you.
NTV Tonight with Ken Mijungu and Zainab Ismail.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Now, scientists are, at this point, are one step closer to finding a cure for Ebola after 2 drugs in a clinical trial were found to significantly increase survival rates. The study, which began last November in the Democratic Republic.
It's time to say goodbye to this note and karibu to this note.
In order for the manufacturing sector to be elevated from the ground.
Despite the government's promise to create at least 1.3 million jobs,
moves you fast past the planes and trucks to bring you the triumphs and joys of our great men and women.
Moving stories that touch our hearts.
I didn't know that I could go back to school.
The Back to School program has brought hope to these young mothers.
NTV News. News that moves you.
Every day, NTV News team moves you to the center of the action.
The security forces who took part in this operation.
Police are not taking anything to chance.
Moves you to the heart of the story to witness and record history.
Rendering the declared results null and void.
Telling the story of Kenya.
The growing importance of border in Mandera.
Matatus will be on strike.
And beyond.
The politics in the United States capital.
It is the 7th edition of the Global Education taking place in Dubai.
When it comes to business, we crunch the numbers and unpack the detail with the latest information for your investment decision.
It's time to say goodbye to this note and karibu to this note.
In order for the manufacturing sector to be elevated from the ground.
Despite the government's promise to create at least 1.3 million jobs,
moves you fast past the planes and trucks to bring you the triumphs and joys of our great men and women.
Moving stories that touch our hearts.
I didn't know that I could go back to school.
The Back to School program has brought hope to these young mothers.
NTV News. News that moves you.
Every day, NTV News team moves you to the center of the action.
The security forces who took part in this operation.
Police are not taking anything to chance.
Moves you to the heart of the story to witness and record history.
Rendering the declared.
Why aren't you wearing the ring?
2 is company.
I don't know what I'm supposed to feel about this.
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Can I buy a chocolate, please? It's for my mom. Happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you, Bella. There's a class and a half in everyone.
In 2017, Lifestyle Estates promised Lifestyle Heights in Tatu City. The dream is now a reality. Lifestyle Heights is ready for occupation from 1st September 2019. Lifestyle Heights is a modern gated community of 2, 3 and 3 bedroom with DSQ apartments with amenities rare to find elsewhere. We are inviting you to our open day on the 24th and 25th August 2019 at Lifestyle Heights, Tatu City from 8 a.m. Karibuni nyote.
It's time to play. Welcome to NTV Sport. I am Warothe Kiru. With the exit of Sebastian Minye as the Harambee Stars head coach, focus now turns on his replacement. Ida Waring analyzes the local versus the foreign question that has got football stakeholders in Kenya talking.
Sebastian Minye was the 3rd Harambee Stars head coach in as many years under the current Football Kenya Federation administration. The Frenchman replaced Belgian Paul Put, who came in after Kenyan Stanley Okumbi. The process of hiring a new coach is ongoing, and with FKF elections just months away, President Nick Mwendwa will want to play his cards right.
Sadly, in our country, we tend to give foreign coaches a lot of support, you know, in terms of materials, in terms of resources, than we do to our local coaches.
And the man on the street has his thoughts on Menye's replacement.
Mimi naweza prefer sahi tuende kwa local coach. Juu tukiangalia timu kama Senegal wako na local coach, na local coach ana understand venye team inaendelea, ana understand local players.
I think we should give this job to a local person. I believe we have experienced players in this country who are seasoned, who are able to come back and give back to the society in form of training.
Najua coach si lazima kuwe foreigner. Hata ule mwenye kuna makoach. Bora tu venye wataelewana na wasimamizi wa mpira. Unajua coach na yeye ukimlipa vizuri na yeye atafanya kazi vizuri.
With interest from international coaches on the vacant position, national team assistant coach Francis Kimanzi remains the front runner for the job.
Well, I know that Kimanzi is one of the best coaches that we have locally. I've had an opportunity to work with him at Mathare United and in the national team as well. And I know he's up to what is required at that particular level. And in 2008, 2009, when he was, at the helm of the national team, I think that's when the national team managed to get its best rankings, its best FIFA rankings.
All eyes will be on the Harambee Stars and how they will look to bounce back from the latest setback with the AFCON 2021 qualifiers and the CECAFA tournament not too far away. For NTV, I'm Ida Waringa.
On to rugby, and the national women's rugby team, the Kenya Leonesses, are a match away from bagging a ticket to the 2021 Rugby World Cup. The Leonesses beat Uganda 37-5 in the second match of the qualifiers in Johannesburg, South Africa, to build on the opening match win against Uganda. Kenya will conclude the tournament with a must-win match against the hosts, who have blown away Uganda and Madagascar. For a second day in a row, the national men and women hockey teams have registered mixed results in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics qualifiers. The women's team, Tausi, drew 1-1 with Ghana to follow up with a 1-0 win over Namibia. This as the men's team, Chui, lost for a second game in a row, falling 7-2 to Egypt after losing 3-2 to Ghana in their opener. The tournament is being played in a round-robin format, with only the top men and women teams securing tickets to the 2020 Olympics in Japan. Now, footballers who shone last season will on Monday next week be fitted in the football gala organized by the Sports Journalists Association of Kenya, SJAC, and sponsored by LG Electronics. 6 nominees have been selected in the different categories, with the number to be whittled down to 3 on Friday ahead of the gala. In a pick of the nominees, Farouk Shikalo of Bandari will battle Justine Dikumana, who played for Sofapaka, for Goalie of the Year. Gor Mahia has Harun Shakava and Joash Onyango in the Defender of the Year category. Coach of the Year category is a tough one to call, with Hassan Oktoy, Bernard Molala, John Baraza, Robert Matano, Patrick Odhiambo and Francis Kimanzi nominated. Keeping it football, and Football Kenya Federation has lauded the impact of the Chapa Dimba na Safaricom Youth Football Tournament, whose third edition was launched today. The tournament targets boys and girls aged 16 to 20 years. The registration forms are available via the tournament's website, www.chapadimba.safaricom.co.ke, and at Safaricom shops and FKF offices countrywide. Registration closes on 6th September, after which the grassroots games will kick off.
National team Harambee Stars.
Everyone who has an opportunity to be able to play football, to be able to represent their local team, to make sure that they register.
And on to the counties. When the Jubilee government first took power, they promised the sports docket in the country 9 ultra-modern stadia across the country. However, years on, that promise remains just that, a promise. Lois Wongoi reports from the Cameroon Stadium in Iten.
Kamaring Stadium in Iten, where one is welcomed by broken gates, open electricity cables, and heaps of excavated soil.
Somewhere in 2017, the contractor disappeared, and up to now we've never seen the contractor back.
Kamaring is where world beaters such as former marathon record holder Wilson Kipsang and London marathon champion Mary Keitany took their first steps of their glittering athletics career. But now this stadium, under the national government, is in a sorry state, with the major stakeholders, our sportsmen and women, suffering the biggest brunt.
Number of athletes train using our roads, because we realized that with the pumps and a lot of potholes, some of the athletes were picking injuries.
With the national government dragging its feet, the county government of Elgeyo Marakwet has sought to salvage the situation, first up with these 2,000 capacity terraces.
We've gone out of our way. We've written a lot of proposals to donors.
In the meantime, athletes in Iten, which has been recognized by the IAAF as the World Heritage for long-distance running training, are being forced to pay to access private training grounds. Lois Wangoi, NTV Sports, in the county of Elgeyo Marakwet.
Now, back here in Nairobi, Ulinzi Stars kicked off their football title defense at the East Africa Military Games with a 4-0 thrashing of Burundi. Kenya will also be seeking to defend its titles in volleyball, cross-country and netball, as our very own Brian Otwal, who spent the day at Kasarani, reports.
Ulinzi Stars showcased their dominance at the East African Community Military Games that kicked off at the Kasarani Stadium with a 4-0 drubbing of Muzinga FC from Burundi. Oscar Wamalwa scored a hat-trick in the one-sided match, first in the 10th minute, before adding the second 10 minutes after the break. 2018 KPL season top scorer Enosho Chieng added the third, before Wamalwa completed his hat-trick in the 86th minute.
Ndi mzuri, imekuja wakati mzuri, wakati ligi pia iko karibu kuanza. So hii ni kama friendlies ile after pre-season, wakati una prepare players, ni kama friendlies sasa uone mahali wamefikia, so naona wako vibaya.
On Wednesday, Uganda takes on Rwanda. The 12th edition of the East Africa Military Games brings together teams from 6 countries to participate in 5 disciplines, including football, volleyball, netball, basketball and cross-country. They say work without play makes Jack a dull boy, and the military men and women have put down their machinery and using sport as a unifying factor at the East Africa Military Games. This as Kenya will be seeking to defend its overall title as well as title in football, volleyball and cross-country. Reporting for NTV Sport, my name is Brian Otwal at the Kasarani Stadium.
And we'll be keeping an eye on all that in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, do have a lovely night. I am Warothe Kiru. Thank you for watching NTV Sport.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this hour, but Sidebar is coming up.
All right, and indeed, my guests are already in studio, Zainab. So as soon as you walk out of studio, I'll be joining them.
And I'll be leaving you soon. Well, our sign language interpreter this evening was Flora Tieno. My name is Zainab Ismail. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you, Zainab. And of course, Sidebar is coming straight after this. And as I mentioned, my guests are already seated here. They're gentlemen, former members of parliament, but they have a vision that a lot of the members of parliament right now don't have. And I'll be qualifying that statement when we come back, because Johnston Mudhama Kabando Akabando and Engineer Gumbo are veterans in parliament. They made their own contribution. And right now in the country, there's a lot of conversation around which way Kenya, especially in regards to the referendum, Punguza Mzigo bill. Then there is political realignment. So we'll try and answer all these questions when we come back. But first, let's take a break. We leave NTV Tonight. We're back with Sidebar. Stay with us.